What is Centrepoint? It's always been a focal point in London. It's somewhere that all Londoners know, identify with, and it does what it says on the tin.
It's always been around us because WAC went to St Martin's, so it was on our doorstep. It was something that you could see wherever we go across the bridges. It's there, you can see the Centrepoint lights. It does have a bit of a crazy glamour to it.
It represents life in a city. It is a landmark, partly because it's got its name splattered all over the top. It's unmissable. And in the case of Centrepoint, of course, familiarity breeds, I think, an element of contentment. It's clearly recognisable and identifiable. In most views you see it from.
When I first moved to London, my dad bought me an A to Z and said walk around and use Centrepoint as your main focus point, because then you'll never get lost if you're using it as direction.
Yeah.
I would say it is a landmark, and a symbol of its time, and a prime example of the architecture of an important practice of the 1960s.
Harry Hyams was the most significant single property developer of his day in the 60s and 70s. Had a long association with the architect of Centrepoint, Richard Seifert, and between them they made this significant mark on London at Centrepoint. The reason that Harry Hyams and Richard Seifert managed to get a permission for such a tall building was that as part of the development they agreed to put a road through at ground level leading from St Giles High Street to New Oxford Street.
You can imagine how that negotiation took place. Look, this building I need at this scale, but you want me to shrink it to create this wonderful new roundabout. And in return, you need to give me the height. Now, interestingly, planning law and in particular the protection of strategic views across London came in much later. And Harry Hyams by then had constructed a building that now sits smack in the middle of a viewing corridor that is protecting views down to the Palace of Westminster. And therefore, in a strange sort of way, he's added to the uniqueness of the product, because not only has it been listed by English Heritage, so you can't remove it from the skyline, but equally you can't add anything to the skyline immediately around it either.
It's always been kind of like a meeting point for everyone to get to, because everyone knows Centrepoint, so it's like on a night out afterwards, we'll meet you there. So it's just a good place for everyone to come. I like it, just how it stands out from everything else around here, like all the kind of old shops and buildings, and there's just this big kind of archaic structure. I love it. But yeah.
One of the interesting things about London now is that London is a city of jump scales, where you can go from an 18th century street to something which might be 4 times the height, or 10 times the height, or 20 times the height. Does it necessarily detract from the lower scale? Or does it just tell you that you're in a city which is capable of absorbing new things? And clearly that balance between old and new is something that you can read in more than one way. The truth for most people, I think, is you see it as you find it, and of course your experience of it over time will tell you whether or not you think the result has been satisfactory.
It's when I cycled somewhere and I got lost, so I couldn't see this building from far away. I know my way home from this place, so this building helped me a lot.
Many times when I'm walking from the south, from let's say Soho or up from the embankment, and I might be a little bit disoriented from jet lag or drinks, and it's been helpful, I'll tell you, because it is a bit of a rabbit warren of streets to the south. Yes, in 50 years this building will be revered. It may be campy, it may be revered as an architectural landmark. We'll see. I've got an open mind.